Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what are those. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grind and shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all, cause it's nothing to me. It's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it them all. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. I tell I'm running out of breath, I tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh. Fresh, goddammit, we fresh.
Welcome to the Fresh is the Word podcast. I am your host, K Fresh. This is the podcast about music, pro wrestling, and MMA. Back from a 2-week hiatus, I was out in Cali, out in LA. I went to Glory Kickboxing and Bellator MMA, Bellator 170, headlined by Chael Sonnen versus Tito Ortiz. And was out there for a week after that. It was kind of hard for me to do the podcast while I was out there, so I just skipped it. But the last couple of days of my stay out there, I got the flu. And then it continued on for a week after it, so I just took the following week off. But I'm back now. Hopefully I'm not sick anymore. And we got a great show for you today. Actually, I was able to get a bunch of short interviews with a few of the Bellator fighters at the media day while I was out there. Those included Bomba Vasconcelos, Colleen Schneider, Chinzo Machida, Derek Anderson, Derek Campos, and Emmanuel Sanchez. So I'm going to bring you all those little interviews that I did for this week's podcast. And before we get into all that, I definitely want to remind you how you can support the podcast. If you go to freshasthepodcast.com, please just share anything that you see on there. There's a lot of episodes we've done thus far. There's a few articles. There's some photo galleries from wrestling events. Just go ahead and share whatever you want on your social medias. You can click on the support the podcast link, and there's a PayPal link that you can donate to. Or if you do any shopping on Amazon, use the Amazon link on that page, and they'll kick back some commission for us. You can also you can always subscribe to Fresh is the Word on both Stitcher and iTunes. Just search Fresh is the Word and it should come up, and give us a 5-star rating and a comment. If I see that there's any comments on there, I'll definitely read them on the show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Fresh is the Word 1. That's Fresh is the Word number 1. And also you can go to Facebook and go to facebook.com/Fresh is the Podcast and follow Fresh is the Word on there. Give us a like. And that would be great. Just anything that could help us, build the podcast, because we got a lot of great things in the works. So definitely would like to get some more fighters and more pro wrestlers on the podcast. So if you're any of those type of people and you're listening to this, holler at me. My email address is djkfresh@gmail.com, or you can follow me personally on Twitter at Rensoul, that's RENSOUL, or on Instagram at RensoulDetroit. And we can chop it up, we can just hit me up anyways, let me know your comments or anything like that. Before we get in, after we get into these Bellator interviews, like always, my co-host Vstylez will get on the mic and we'll talk about what's going on in Bellator, UFC, the WWE, and we also reminisce about the late great Detroit hip hop MC and producer Jay Dee, aka Jay Dilla, whose birthday and his passing was this week. He passed away February 10th of 2006. So that's about 11 years ago. definitely missed. So we're gonna chop it up about our memories about Jay Dee. Before we get into the interviews, so the Bellator interviews, just like to remind you of if you need any great screen printing done in the Metro Detroit area. I have some buddies that from Undeniable Press that can help you out with any of your screen printing needs. You can go to facebook.com/undeniable.press and give them a like, and hit them up if you need any t-shirts or some posters or any other screen printing done. They're located in Corktown, Detroit, the Corktown, Detroit neighborhood. And also the same guys who run Undeniable Press, they run a clothing line that's wrestling themed called 20 by 20 Apparel, and they have some really cool wrestling themed designs. I have a few t-shirts from them that I rock all the time. You can go to their website, which is the number 20x the number 20 apparel.com. That's 20 by 20 apparel.com. You can also check them out at facebook.com at 20x20 apparel, and give them a like and support them. They're some good brothers. All right, first up on the Bellator interviews is Bomba Vasconcelos. That weekend at Bellator 170, he did defeat John Mercurio via KO in the second round. So let's get to the interview with Bomba.
Okay, I'm here with Bomba. It's the second fight in Bellator. Thoughts about fighting in Bellator?
That's it's an awesome tournament. I love being here. Bellator treat us like so good, and fight for them is it's a pleasure for me.
Your last fight was a win over Jordan Dowdy. What was your thoughts after that fight, going into thinking about what to do in the future here?
It was a pretty good fight. I did my game plan, which is take him down, which I was thinking it would be more easy for me, and I did good on this. And I don't think about next fight. After I finish that, I say, okay, let's see what's going on. And I make plans to try fight on the same card, Chael, and it's happened.
Okay, your opponent this weekend is John Mercurio. What do you think the outcome for this fight's going to be? What did you do to train for this fight?
Yeah, so he's a Muay Thai guy. He's very aggressive. So I did all my camp training with Joe Schilling, which is kind of same thing, So I'm pretty ready for any situation, and I can't wait for this moment.
What do you do to evolve as a fighter with an MMA community and industry that is forever changing and evolving into so many different aspects right now, with money coming into the equation, with just the entertainment aspect? What do you do to sort of evolve to fit into all of this?
I try to be myself, I'm always myself. I think I try to sell my fights, and that's what it is, I'm just a regular guy.
Right.
To show up on the cage and put everything I got. But I think everybody sell what he is in the end, So.
And I'm a bit of a music guy too. What sort of music do you listen to when you're training?
I like everything, but I listen a lot of. The guys always make a joke with me too. I listen a lot of Lil Wayne.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I like a lot of hip hop.
What sort of music do you listen to when you're just relaxing? At the crib, or at home, or whatever.
Listen more. I like Oasis.
Okay.
Yeah, this kind of style of music is pretty cool. I'm pretty relaxed.
Cool, man. It's been good talking with you, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, bro.
Yep.
So that was my interview with Bellator middleweight Bomba Vasconcelos. He defeated John Mercurio via knockout in the second round at Bellator 170. Next up is my interview with featherweight contender Chinzo Machida, brother of current UFC middleweight Lyoto Machida, who defeated Jamar Ochampa via TKO in the third round at Bellator 170. We talked about his time in Bellator, along with making a bigger push in fighting at more of an older age. So here's the interview with Chinzo Machida.
We're here with Chinzo Machida. He's fighting this weekend against Jamar Ochampa, featherweight at Bellator 170. This is your second fight in Bellator. How's your experience been thus far with Bellator?
Yeah, it's very good. I'm so excited to fight to Bellator. This is going to be my second fight. I had a very good camp. I had a very good preparation for that fight. And I feel confident and I feel comfortable.
What did you do to prepare yourself for this fight?
I'm sorry?
What did you do to prepare yourself for this fight?
Yeah, I prepare for any situation. No, I have a good camp. I train in ground game. I train takedowns. I train in stand-up technique for sure. But my background is a stand-up technique. So for sure, I try to keep my karate techniques on the cage.
Your previous fight was a win over Mario Navarro. That was your first Bellator fight. How did it feel to kick off your Bellator run with a win?
It's very good especially because it was my first fight. So I had a good debut to the Bellator, and many people comment about my knockouts, and so I'm happy to Bellator, and I would like to fight maximum as I can.
Right now, you're 39 years old. You've only had 6 fights before. There's always been talk about your age and experience. But you're making this push now. Why are you making this push right now to fight?
I'm sorry, why?
Why right now? Why are you making this big push to fight often now?
Yeah, because I'm 39 years old, but I still feel confident. I still feel strong and fast. So I don't worry too much about my age, because I'm still. And also, I'm young in MMA career, but I know I'm 39 years old. But the guy I'm in fight is younger than me, but maybe I can be faster than them. So if I can do that as maximum as I can, as long as I can, I will try. I will keep it fight for sure.
You're 39 years young, not old.
Actually depends of your mind,
Right.
If you are 39 years old, 33 years old, but if you put your mind that you old,
right,
you old,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
When you moved to the United States, you said that you had more opportunities to fight. How is that possible? Who gave you those opportunities to fight? Where did those opportunities come from?
Yeah, because I had 2 fights from RFA, so this gave me the credential to the Bellator sign with me. So after Bellator signed with me, they invite me to come more often, to fight more often. So that gave me more opportunity. And as I'm living here in the United States, this gave me more opportunity to fight to the Bellator.
What were those initial talks with Bellator like?
Because I had a good last 2 fights to the RFA, and I had a very good knockout with the fly knee, and the next one I fought with the Dimitri, the guy that I won as well, and the Bellator interested to my fights.
Given that you're in Bellator now, does your brother give you any advice about your current push here?
Yeah, for sure, because my brother, he can pass to me. He has a lot of knowledge, because he has knowledge and a lot of experience as a fighter. So he gave me a lot of advice and how can I improve my techniques. So that's gonna help me a lot. But also it depends on myself. I have to focus and push myself at the time. In your words, how do you feel like a fighter should evolve in a MMA industry that's forever changing? MMA?
How should a fighter evolve? What should they do to stay relevant in this ever-changing MMA industry?
How can you explain
What do you think you need to do to sort of evolve as, the fight industry is always changing and there's always new obstacles or new things that are coming about, changes in the way people fight? How do you stay relevant?
Yeah, well, MMA is still young, so there is a season that's the MMA change. First of all, is a jiu-jitsu. Second is our wrestling guys. After the guys from stand-up technique, So now we can see the new guys came with for example, Conor McGregor. He has a good distance, a good time. So came with the different way a little bit. The MMA changed a little bit because the new guys come with the different idea or the different techniques. So this makes the MMA change all the time and to become MMA so exciting.
I'm a bit of a music guy. What sort of music do you listen to when you're training?
Actually, I don't used to listen music when I train. Usually I don't use that kind of.
You just stay focused.
Stay focused.
Put your head down.
Yes.
What sort of music do you listen to when you're just at home relaxing?
More popular music. Popular music.
Who's some of your favorites?
I don't have some guy like that.
Good. Thanks for talking with me. Good luck.
Thanks so much.
So that was my interview with Chinzo Machida. Next up is my interview with Derek Anderson, who lost in a unanimous decision in a 161-pound catchweight fight with Bellator 170 to Derek Campos. The funny thing about this fight was during it, since both guys named Derek, the whole crowd was chanting, "Let's go, Derek." It was quite amusing. So let's get to the interview with Derek Anderson.
All right, we're here with Derek Anderson. He's fight this weekend with Derek Campos, lightweight. You've been in Bellator for a few years now. Last couple of fights have been successful. How are you feeling these days?
Feeling good, man. I just can't wait to stay active and get my shot soon. I'm feeling real good, real confident. I can't wait to get more fights. Just, it's my job. And, we've got no injuries now, so it's time to just keep rolling.
Sometimes, certain fighters can kind of caught out going, like they want to be in the UFC. And being in Bellator definitely isn't UFC isn't the only place in town. What's your experience been like fighting in Bellator?
I like it, man. I'm a little guy too, so I'll stick around Bellator as long as they keep me, and treat me well. It's been good, man. Like, I don't got no complaints, so.
Right.
I'm here to stay. I'm here to get that belt and then move up and then get another belt. You know what I mean?
You were supposed to fight Paul Daly in November, but he fell ill.
Yep.
Were you disappointed that fight got canceled? And what do you do when you train so hard and then at the last minute it gets canceled?
Yeah, absolutely. I was disappointed, but I was a little sick too, actually myself, and I got some money for that fight or for showing up because I was going to fight either way. So, it's not too bad. You know what I mean? And he's it would have been a good name on my record, but stuff happens. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This fight with Derek Campos could solidify one of you guys as a contender in this lightweight division. How do you think you'll be able to break through in this division?
Yeah, man, just keep knocking guys, beating guys. You know what I mean? I need to get a finish. I want to hopefully knock out Derek Campos, choke him out. I need to start finishing guys again. You know what I mean? Just keep making statements. You know what I mean? Everyone was real impressed with my last fight with Saad Awad, and hopefully I'll make the same kind of start the show off right Saturday night.
Through your career in fighting, how do you think the landscape of this industry has changed with this sort of idea of sports entertainment kind of going more into it, the Vince McMahon sort of playbook, and then there's more and more talk about money fights, and then fighters trying to wanting more assurances for their health and whatnot. How do you think that has evolved during your time?
That's good, man. We need that. Especially the UFC kind of tries to monopolize the sport. It's a good thing Bellator's coming up real good. We're real good competitors with them now. You know what I mean? Because I don't want, it sucks when, and then two, we got these money fights going on. It's like, man, let me fight Conor McGregor, just please. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Trying to get some money like that.
Right. Yeah, there's as a fighter, you got that finite time to make money. Yep. How do you sort of balance that with trying to go after a title?
Well, I just you just got to work as hard as I'm trying to work as hard as I can and get it done right now, man. You know what I mean? What do I got to wait for? You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So just work hard, get all these fights, beat everybody. Get a title shot. Keep going.
As a fighter, how do you evolve as a fighter and a person within an industry that is forever changing?
Well, you just got to keep working on your skills, you know what I mean, and get your head right, and I got a few ways of doing that, I guess. You know what I mean? I like to get away from everything and just kind of, you know what I mean, do my own thing, you know, and kind of get my head set, you know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, I'm a bit of a music guy.
Sick.
So what sort of music do you listen to when you're training?
I'm all about classic rock all the time, man. You know what I mean? Like, anything classic really, but mostly classic rock for sure. You know what I mean? That's my stuff. So.
Which bands are your?
Man, there's so many, but we'll go with the Stones. I just went to the Desert Trip, a
Okay.
little bit ago. Yeah, everyone there was badass. You know what I mean? So, some good old stuff like that. Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. Yeah.
What sort of music do you listen to when you're just at home? Relaxing.
That's the stuff, man. I go through all different stuff. I got a big old library of stuff. It's all old though, For some reason, I just listen to old stuff. I'm old soul, and so I got a big old library of stuff, and I'll skip some stuff at sometimes. If I'm not in the mood for some metal or something like that, then I'll skip it to some mellow shit. You know what I mean? Like even like Etta James and shit. You know what I mean? It just depends what mood I'm in.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good to talk with you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that was my interview with Derek Anderson. Next up is my interview with Anderson's opponent that night, Derek Campos. He looked quite impressive at Bellator 170, winning in a unanimous decision over Derek Anderson. We talked about his time in Bellator and how he plans to break through in the company. So here's my interview with Derek Campos.
It's fight week, a lot of energy, ready to fight. Here with Derek Campos. He's going against Derek Anderson this weekend, Bellator 170. You've been with Bellator for a few years now. Your last couple of fights have been successful. How you feeling these days? How you going to keep up that momentum?
I feel good. I feel great. To keep the momentum going, it's simple. Stay hungry. I love to compete. I love this sport. I love martial arts, and that's how I keep it going. That's how I keep that fire.
Being in Bellator, Bellator definitely shows that UFC isn't the only show in town. What's your experience been like fighting for Bellator?
My experience with Bellator has been amazing. They always take care of the fighters. They've taken care of me personally. They always, match me up against great opponents. I couldn't ask for more. It's a family business, and I know they work hard. Bellator works hard, and so I work hard to give back to them.
Do you feel like in Bellator your fights seem important when time comes?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just look at this card, this matchup right here. It's probably like the biggest Bellator MMA card to date, and I've been given the opening slot for the card, so I need to go out there and set the bar for the show.
Yeah, set the tone.
And make people tune into it at home. So I mean, it's they always give me the best. They always put me in a position to shine, and you know what? I always love to capitalize on it.
You're the leadoff hitter for the night.
That's right.
Yes. Your fight with Derek Anderson, could have some nice implications to one of you guys being a top contender in the lightweight division. How do you think you're going to break through into this division?
I can definitely break through in this division with this Anderson fight by going out there and putting on a dominating performance and sending a message to the rest of the lightweight division. Because even if I don't get a title shot right after this fight, I still want to continue to fight the best guys like Benson Henderson, Josh Thompson, Adam Piccolotti, and Brent Primus. Those are like the four top guys besides going in there against Derek Anderson this Saturday. But like I said, first things first, I'm going there and dominate Anderson and go to work continuously after that.
So you feel like you can hang with those five guys?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about believing in yourself, and it's all about putting in hard work. Hard work and belief is going to take anyone where they want to go.
MMA industry is, forever evolving. There's definitely the big, ideas of money and money fights, and then the fighters, fighting for more protection in a lot of different ways. How do you feel like you yourself has evolved over the years as a fighter to be a part of this ever-changing industry?
Well, first and foremost, to continue to be part of the MMA scene and to compete at the level the athletes are competing at today, you have to be well-rounded. You have to continuously improve your game in all aspects, whether it be on the feet, on the ground. You have to get better, and you have to have essentially a unique style. And for me personally, it's just going out there and having a style, trying to have a style like a bull, like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? And then second, it's just being able to connect with the fans and showing them that your heart is in this sport. Because when fans see that, they respect that and they follow you. They share that same passion, and so that's the way you evolve in the sport. And when it comes to money, you put in hard work and you'll get the rewards.
Speaking of the fans, have you felt any sort of response to the Bellator fans out there yet in regards to your successes in this organization?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had fans reach out to me and congratulate me on this past year, especially that Melvin fight, and it's been amazing. I love the positive reaction from the fans and how they show me love because I go out there and I put it all on the line, and I don't hold back, and that's what they respect and they love, and they want to see a spectacle, they want to see a brawl, and I'm out there not only to compete to win, but I'm there to put on that spectacle and make them cheer. I want to get their asses out of seats and give them something they paid for.
Definitely. I'm a bit of a music guy. What sort of music do you listen to when you're training, if you do?
Honestly, I mix it up. I listen to a little bit of rap, rock, and of course, like some electronic dubstep. You know what I mean? So,
who are some of your favorites?
Actually, for this fight coming up, I love running and training to some Steve Aoki out here. So, I'm being from Texas, you wouldn't expect that, but
right.
Steve Aoki. Man, when it comes to rock, Chevelle. I'm a Chevelle.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Chevelle fan. Yeah.
So I mix it up. It just depends.
What do you listen to when you're just chilling at home or just like in your car or whatever?
Like I said, just some rock, some Foo Fighters, some Chevelle.
Yeah.
That's what I listen to. I'm a rock and roll guy, so. And if it's not that rock, I listen to some classic rock. You know what I'm saying?
What's some of your favorite classic rock?
Classic rock? Oh man, for sure. Styx.
Okay.
I like the '80s Scorpions.
Okay, definitely.
Just bands like that. Mix it up. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So.
Awesome. Good luck this weekend. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
So that was my interview with Derek Campos. Next up was a very fun interview with Emmanuel Sanchez, a featherweight contender who defeated Georgi Karahanyan by majority decision at Bellator 170. We talked about the music that he ends up listening to, which that was a question that I asked everybody. Like, what do they listen to when they're training? What do they listen to when they're just chilling outside of training? But it'd be funny. You'd be surprised on what he said. And then he dropped some bars for me, which was definitely cool. So here's my interview with Emmanuel Sanchez.
Watch other guys. I'm a nerd. I just watch fights like you wouldn't believe. So I'm always trying to better my technique in each and every aspect.
Awesome. To continue your Bellator run, what's your training like these days? What do you think you need to do to continue to be relevant for Bellator?
Finishes, man. For me, it's my own, in my own mind, in my own life, what I know I need to do to set it out to accomplish. I've accomplished a lot. Be proud of how far I've come, but I still know on how much more I need to go. I'm only 26 years old, and I'm still young in my career, man. I still have a long time in this game, and I'm only getting better.
Cool, man, cool. During your time during your career as a fighter, how do you feel the landscape of this industry has changed, with it always changing in some way or another? There's definitely been the ideas of fighters looking to get more protection and things to help them out in regards to money or health-wise and everything. How do you feel like the landscape has changed during your career?
It's changed a lot, and I think they do need to do that, what I mean? Not just for guys at the highest level, but guys upcoming as well, man. I've been to too many local shows, cornering teammates, and they don't got warm-up rooms, they don't give them water, they don't give, it's pathetic, man, it's ridiculous. How do you expect guys to want to come out and fight for you or guys to put on a good show if you don't take care of them? So, I most definitely want to be that voice for other fighters on their way up as well.
What's your experience been with Bellator all these years? What is it about Bellator that sort of makes it special?
Man, that how well they're getting behind me, promoting me, and promoting all the fighters, really, so not just myself, but they definitely make every fight, it's a big deal, every fight's a big deal. Sometimes some other fights get a little overlooked, and for here, man, every single fight counts, and they're all exciting fights. So my favorite line is, people say whatever they want to say, but they all tune in to watch Bellator MMA.
Bars, man, bars.
Bars all day long, bro.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a music person, too.
Awesome. Yeah.
So do you listen to any particular music when you're training?
I do, man, some Don Omar, some salsa, some Enrique Iglesias, believe it or not. I like some dancing music, man. I don't really need this death metal or too much killer hip-hop like Tupac, you know what I mean? I do like a little bit, don't get me wrong. If I was to go with, hey man, I need some like hardcore stuff, I'd go with Big Punisher.
Oh, all right. What do you listen to when you're not training, when you're just kind of relaxing?
When I'm not training, believe it or not, kids music, man. Yeah, I got a niece and 2 nephews, so, they love all the little Disney movie songs and stuff like that, so it's like, I hear that every day, you know what I mean?
Oh, so you have like Let It Go stuck in your head?
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't believe, bro. And then, of course, all the songs from Moana recently, Lilo and Stitch, of course, Kung Fu Panda songs, it's like, it's never ending, but you know what, I love it, man, you know what, it's great. I'm their only uncle, so it's good.
Awesome. All right, Emmanuel, prediction for the fight against Georgie this weekend?
I'm looking to take him out first or second round, man, by knockout or submission. You want some bars? I'll give you some bars. My fighting style is 110% complete, and I can put people to sleep on the ground or on my feet.
Hell yeah. Good talking with you, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
So that was my interview with Emmanuel Sanchez. Now my favorite interview that weekend was with a new face of the Bellator roster, women's flyweight fighter Colleen Schneider. She won her fight against Chrissy Daniels via submission anaconda choke in the first round at Bellator 170. We talked about her coming to Bellator, her fighting Shayna Baszler in a wrestling match, and her relationship with Metal Blade Records. She came out to Goat Whore, I believe, in one of her previous fights. She even recognized my Bullet Club hat that I had on. She was so much fun to talk to. So here's my interview with Colleen Schneider.
All right, we're here with Colleen Schneider. She has her first fight in Bellator this weekend. You just told me you're a wrestling fan. You had a match before?
I did. I wrestled Shayna Baszler in Premier Wrestling last year.
Oh, awesome. You said you're a Bullet Club fan?
I like Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Did you go to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla?
I haven't yet. I'm from Detroit.
Okay.
So I go to some of the things in the Midwest.
Gotcha.
Before, and I've been to a couple of fights where Shayna was at AIW in Cleveland.
She's over doing Stardom right now, touring in Japan.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, awesome. All right, this is your first fight in Bellator. Why the move? How did the opportunity come up?
I think Bellator is a great promotion. I've thought that for a long time, so I decided to move down to. I went down to 25 again, specifically to fight for Bellator.
Your experience with Bellator thus far, is there anything significant that you like about it in comparison to anywhere you've been in the past?
Rebecca Ruth pulled out due to an injury a little over a week ago, and Bellator worked their ass off to find me a replacement and managed to do it, and I know it was a really difficult thing, so I hugely appreciate all the effort they put into that.
Okay, yeah, it seems like they put a lot of effort in everything. What's your training like these days? What do you want to do to start this Bellator run off with a bang?
I was thinking maybe a camel clutch or DDT or I don't know. My Germans have been looking really nice lately. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be awesome if you were to throw in a German suplex in the middle of that. I would totally mark out for that.
There we go. That's it then. I'll finish it that way, and you can be like, she called that.
Yeah, definitely. Throw in a sharpshooter or something. Do you personally see the landscape of the women's MMA evolving? There's definitely been a shift in the talent from even a few years ago. But do you see the opportunities to present this evolving in a proper manner to have people like yourself be showcased properly?
Yeah, I see it, and I'm a part of it, right? When I first started fighting, there were women's fights were few and far between. I had the opportunity to fight for Strikeforce, and then the Ultimate Fighter, and Invicta running all female fights helps build up the talent pool of women, and Bellator, the fact that they're going to establish titles for the women's division helps give that a lot of legitimacy, and I think will pull more good fighters in. So it's absolutely expanding.
Do you think the promotions themselves are making the proper steps forward to showcase and even inspire the next generation of women fighters?
It's getting better. It's moving in the right direction. There's more and more focus on it, and I think it's moving the way it's going to. In a way it's a corporate machine. So there's only so far you can push it. It's gonna go at the speed that it thinks it's profitable to go at, really. But it's moving there, and it's going in the right direction.
Okay, if you're successful this weekend, when you're successful this weekend at Bellator 170, what do you foresee the future of Bellator for?
I'm happy to fight anyone they have on the roster, and ultimately I want to fight for the title. I want their flyweight title, and I would love to be a part of the inaugural fight for that title.
So you're calling it right now. You want first dibs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fucking KO someone with a German, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, she has to fight for the title." And I'll be like, "Yeah, I do."
You'll definitely make all the headlines if you drop someone with the German suplex. I'm a bit of a music guy, also. Do you listen to any particular music when you're training?
Whatever music is on at the gym, which is sometimes good and sometimes shitty. If I'm working out on my own, I usually listen to punk or some electronic if I need a beat to keep me going faster, or metal.
Who's some of your favorite artists?
Well, I just did a little promo reel thing because I work with Metal Blade Records to Goat Horror, so I walked out with them before.
Okay. Yeah, I just interviewed Carly Coma from the band Candiria for my podcast, because he's a big MMA fan, and they just came out with the album on Metal Blade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was dope. Prediction for this weekend?
Chaos, mayhem, German suplexes. Don't miss it.
Hell yeah, too sweet.
What?
That's the Bullet Club thing.
Nice.
It's good to talk with you.
You too.
Good luck.
So that was my collection of interviews with a few of the fighters from Bellator during my trip out to LA for Bellator 170. Definitely had a great time at the events. Everybody involved at Bellator that I met was super professional and super nice. So let's get to that part of the show where we discuss what's going on in the world of MMA, pro wrestling, and sometimes a little bit of music. And like always, I'm joined with my co-host, pro wrestling and MMA connoisseur, and Detroit hip-hop artist, and proud Marine, Vstylez. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing, DJ K Fresh?
Hey, man, we've been off 2 weeks because I was in LA, and then I got sick. I had the flu, and it sucked, so I was just like, I can't talk about anything last week, whatever. I was still, but I feel better.
Look, at least you could see, though. I couldn't fucking see. My vision was blurred, man. I went to 2 different eye doctors because I didn't like the response that the Kresge Institute gave me. So I had to go see this eye specialist, and he basically told me what Kresge told me was correct. They just, said it in such a ghetto way to, you just had to, just let it run its course. I'm like, what type of fucking shit is that, But you know, and in fairness, they were correct, you know. So my eyes not swole up anymore, and yeah, I knew you was going through something, man. I was paying attention. I'm like, man, why me and Kelly going through this shit at the same fucking time?
Right, man. It sucked. Like the last 2 days I was out in LA, I just like all of a sudden like just caught the flu, and it was terrible because it was like I had this throbbing headache, and then I was just constantly getting the chills. Like, I think that was the worst part about it, is that I was like constantly getting the chills. Like I felt like I was cold all the time.
The chills fucking blow, bro.
Man,
they fucking blow.
And I continued on. I had this as soon as I got back to Michigan for like another week, and I'm just like every night I'm trying to go to sleep, breaking out in cold sweats constantly, and I was just like, geez, I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Come on. Like it was awful, man. It was awful.
That's the fucking worst, man. I know about them chills, man. Fuck them chills. Only time I want to feel some chills is when I'm excited about some shit.
Right, man.
Fuck that.
And it felt exactly like that, but you get them like every 2 minutes.
Oh man.
It was like making me
your
crazy.
Whole trip up?
What's that?
Did it fuck your whole trip up?
No, because it was at the end. It was at the end of the trip. It was the last 2 days. There's a few things.
Though you're supposed to have the most energy. The last 2 days, it's like it's time to get it.
Right, and there's a few things that I couldn't go do those last 2 days, but for the most part, it was a cool trip. It wasn't regular Cali, LA weather when I was out there. When I got out there that whole weekend that I first got out there, it was just a lot of rain. They got more rain in one day than they get like usually in a whole year. Like their drought is over.
Hey, you know what's real is when I was living out in Cali back when I was in the Marines, and that song Tony 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 would come on. It Never Rains in Southern California. Like before me living there, I used to really think it never rained in fucking Southern California because of fucking song. And then I got there, and I'm like, man, you fucking lie. You lie. It fucking rains. And when it rains, it rains in Cali, boy.
Oh,
it rains.
Yo, this one day, okay, I got there on a Wednesday night. Like that Thursday and that Friday, it rained off and on. That Saturday, that was the day of the Women's March. It was actually beautiful out there. It was perfect for it. But then Sunday came around. It literally downpoured all day, like from morning to night. Like I passed by, like I was passing by like a bagel shop or something. They had the news on, and that day Long Beach got 4 inches of rain. And everywhere else around LA got around 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that blows.
And talking to everybody, they're like, man, that's more rain than we get in a year, you know? So, like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that shit blows.
And and temperature-wise, it was like in the 50s the whole time I was out there, which is like, that's chilly out there, you know? So I still had fun. It was still an awesome trip, but it was just like, there's days where I was like, I don't care, I'm wearing my shorts.
Right.
Even though it really wasn't shorts weather, I was like, I don't care, I'm wearing my shorts.
It's Cali, though. It's fucking Cali. That's how I kind of looked at it. Like, you know, it's here, oh well.
But
I wore shorts many days in Cali, and I know I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, but this time around, I was whether it was taking Ubers or public transportation, the subway or the trains, I was able to get around LA a lot more than my previous times, and I actually got to like see a lot of LA, which is super cool, and I had a lot of fun out there. I walked a lot, dude. I felt like I was like on some like boot camp or something.
Can walk. Yeah, you can walk for look. You can walk forever in LA, man, because it's never ending sights.
Right.
You know.
Right, and like
never ending sights.
Yep. Yeah, halfway through my trip, man, I could feel it in my body. I was like, "Oh, dude, man, My glutes are hurting right now. My thighs are hurting.
I love
right
walking,
now.
man. I love walking, especially like places like Los Angeles, and it's just real cool. Especially if you never really experienced anything as far as like you trying to live life a little bit. You go to California, New York, any of the big states, man. You're gonna have fun, man. You got to be like some square ass bum if you don't have fun in Cali.
Right, yeah. There's times when I had time to kill, so I would just like walk in the direction that I need to go to and just walk, Then eventually I might take the subway or something. But it was like I had a good time, aside from the weather and then aside from getting sick at the end. It was really a really enjoyable trip, and I really like LA. It's there's a lot of stuff to do, and like you don't even like get past the tip of the iceberg, even being out there a week, So it was a good trip.
That's dope, super dope.
Yeah, and then
super dope.
Yeah, and kind of it's been a couple of weeks since then. But I did go to Glory Kickboxing and Bellator that weekend. I had a lot of fun going to I went to all the press and media stuff around both of those events.
You was holding the belt, man. You was holding the belt. I was like, how was he holding the belt? He holding the fucking belt.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Normally dudes is like, no, you can't hold it. You was holding whose belt was you holding? Was that a replica? Or?
I think that was just a replica, because that was at the Fan Fest at Dave and Buster's, and they just had the ring girls with a belt, and you could go up there and take a picture with it.
Yeah, I told Mo once he get that Bellator title, after he gets awarded, I'm taking it from him, and he ain't getting that shit back, man. But real shit. Real shit, man. I'm glad you went. I wound up talking to him afterwards. I talked to him a little while ago. He in London right now. He should be on his way home.
Yeah. But I like to, I'll say this, man. Everything surrounding, Bellator and Glory was super fun, but it was also everybody was really professional. Everybody that I talked to, everybody I had to deal with, I was super impressed with everything, Let
me ask you this. Now, since you've been to, I'm not going to say I'm biased, but I can tell you what makes me more comfortable. Since you've been to a Bellator and a UFC event, tell me what you like more about one or the other. Like what did you prefer more and why? Good question, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I think with Bellator, I kind of like almost like the showmanship of how they present the fighters for each fight. It's it's kind of
exactly.
It's like wrestling or what they do out in Japan.
It's Japanese style. That's what it is, man. That type of style it originated over in Japan, and what it does, it gives fighters, it gives them personalities instead of more so looking like fucking robots.
Yeah,
so
and that's something really
everybody's different.
Yeah, and that's something that's like a complaint with UFC, especially with the Reebok deal, is that everybody looks the same. It's hard for anybody to have like their own style or their own sort of personality when they're on their way to the octagon.
I never understood the dude that wanted to look like somebody else. Like, we was coming up, that shit is called biting. I can understand you wanting to be the NFL or NBA or any other major sports of fighting, but when you start taking away, all of this issue, for the more so about bread, you prevented fighters from really making a good ass living, man. You've taken their rights away from some fighters $100,000 to only getting the maximum because you're the champion or you've had so many fights. Bellator, you still keep your sponsors. There's no sponsor tax. So every sponsor you get, that's your bread. You just got to do your job by promoting that brand. You know, usually by the trunks or commercials or through advertisement or something like that. It's a way for fighters that's not fighting for 6-7 months to still pay their bills and not having to rush back for a fight and they hurt, you know, but they got to take the fight because they need that check and they hope that they go win, but they don't know in their heart, but they need that check. So it don't matter. So they go in messed up. You know, most fighters, a majority of fighters fight with injuries, man, because they need that check, man. And most fans wouldn't understand that, man. I've seen it with my own eyes, man. You know, I'm doing better than a lot of these dudes, and they're on TV all the time. And I think I told you that before.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, you can just tell. You can tell the ones that's doing well. You can tell the ones that, you know, just doing it for a check. Like, I've seen some shit, man. And, you know, it's, you know, UFC doesn't make it fun, you know, because now you got everybody all of a sudden, everybody want to move up weight. They want to duck opponents to go hit. And, you know, yeah, I hate to even be like this, but you're not Conor McGregor. You can't, you don't generate that. You are the guy, yeah, you may have a belt, but you are the guy that need to defend that a couple times, especially when your buys are horrid. You know, and I'm not just talking about one fight. I'm talking about a couple fights. It seems like they're all doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Even
yeah.
Cody just won a belt. And I want to fight Conor McGregor. Everybody want to fight the big fight because they know that's going to make them some bread.
Right.
As much as I respect DC, and I totally get what he's saying, and I don't want this to even come off like a diss, but and I totally get what he's saying as far as the whole John Jones ordeal and how Dana said this, that, and the other, but how he can't depend on him, and you know. But he says, when me and John Jones fight, we're going to fight on whatever undercard that Conor McGregor is the main event on. And that strictly is a money ploy.
Yeah.
And I get it. You know, I get it, but it's like, damn, dude, like, you know, Anderson Silva didn't have to do that, man, because he was whooping ass for everybody, you know. They wanted to know about, like, it's like Anderson Silva building his own street buzz. You know, and before all the mega pay-per-views and this, that, and the other, man, that's why people look at him as the GOAT. You know, he came out and proclaimed Conor as the GOAT, but Conor ain't never defended his title once. You know, people get it, and, you know, that ain't no diss to him, but it's like, y'all giving that dude a straight pass. Y'all giving him passes that you wouldn't give regular dudes passes on. You know, right. I don't get it, and it takes the fun away from it. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's out of control these days. Like out of control. Like
it's ever since the new owners took over, it's been like literally in disarray.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy just all the stuff that's sort of going on, and you almost in these days, specifically the past like week. It seems like Dana White's trying to is seeing this now and trying to rein things in, and he's throwing out all these things to like sort of hype up like something that's going to happen in the future. He's already saying that whoever wins between Rumble and DC, that John Jones is going to fight them. He's already saying
I've seen that.
He's already saying that Cyborg's going to get a title shot for the new belt that's coming out. He's already.
I did like that. I like that.
Yeah. He's finally like he's saying, but to me that's almost like akin to like in the WWE when they announce a return of somebody, like John Cena is going to be coming back in 2 weeks. The Undertaker's going. Remember when it was fun? It was much more fun when they just showed up. You know, like wait.
Yeah, that's like, what I enjoy.
Yeah. These times, like these days, like I feel like everything's such a disarray in the UFC that Dana White's throwing out these things that still need like 2 or 3 more steps to get to, you know? And you're like,
Yep.
all right, we got, okay, all right. Instead of like, I don't know, it just seems like they're grasping at a lot of straws to get to sort of rein all these people in and try to get some star power into the story of the UFC.
They have no star power. Their star power is Ronda Rousey, and she's about to retire. And Anderson is older. Conor is it. You're looking at it. So as he goes, the UFC goes. So they better keep that man on the shelf as long as they can. There ain't no diss to him, but he ain't fucking with Khabib. And
and
you know,
and they keep on you know, throwing out all these different things in regards to Conor McGregor. We still got the whole thing with Floyd Mayweather still being a hot topic. Every once in a while they're like, oh, Conor might come back early, and then you don't hear about that again. You know, there's all these things that keep on going around that it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but they better. What's right for him is to focus on something else. You know, his next loss will affect his stock so much, and whether it come in boxing or it comes in MMA, his stock is going to be affected by his next loss. People don't understand that this dude is 2-1 in his last 3 fights. He's not an unbeatable dude. The dude got L's. So when you get to talking about, you know, I judge people on a period of time of you doing certain things. Conor, you know, it's a lot of factors to his success. He came in at a perfect time. Like, his timing was, like, you couldn't time a fighter that was needed like him coming in out the blue. He was so different than every other UFC fighter.
Yeah.
And that's his star power. You know, so good for him. He created that. He got, you know, his team know the numbers. You can't front on any of that, man, but they better keep that man away from Khabib. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep saying that. You know, he might, you know, one day, you know, somebody might let him hit this, man. He might hit this, Conor. No diss to you, bro. I think you know, you dope for what you do. But man,
do you think
you don't want to fuck with Khabib, though?
Do you think that we will ever see another fight in the UFC from either Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz?
They'll come back. That bread ain't gonna last. They smoke good. So as long as they out there, you know, buying good, you know, the stuff that, you know, they own, they you know, they probably got sponsors, man. But I see them coming back. But they only go. See, they're smart now. And not to say that they were dumb, but they're smart. They recognize their star power. When they come back, they the whole fucking card. It's similar to Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock not having to be the world champion because they are the star.
Yeah.
Stars don't need championship belts. You know, the unknown dudes need championship belts to get noticed. But when you're the it factor, you know, you can get away with certain things, man. So, you know, it is what it is, man. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at the Diaz brothers. I love them dudes.
Definitely. There is a few fights from the past couple of weeks I want to go back and talk about since we took a little you know, hiatus from the podcast.
Indeed.
There was 3 fights from the women's divisions that really you know, it was very exciting to me watching them. First, there was the Felice Herrig versus Alexa Grasso fight.
Yep.
Alexa was 9-0. She was the favorite in the fight, even you know, with Herrig having more experience. But and even Herrig said that going into it that she
looked good.
She assessed what she was doing wrong in the past, and almost like she hit the reset button. And
you could tell, bro.
And
her last 2 fights, that wasn't the I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but no, what you were just saying, that wasn't the same person that we saw in this fight.
Yeah.
She looked impressive.
I thought she was done. I thought she was done. And all I kept hearing them say was, her camp says this is the best camp she's ever had, and she's in shape. And then when I seen her at weigh-ins, I was like, oh yeah. She looks the part. Is she going to be the part when she get in that cage? She was the part when she was the old fighter that I was like, man, she can, she can do some things, man. She might give, around the rock. because it's 35, right?
She was in the straw weight.
Oh, yeah, no, 135. Was it 115?
Yeah, 115.
Okay, no, my butt's on that. But she, finally looked like the fighter that I was like, wow, man, she's super impressive. Super impressive, man. I'm happy to see her back, and, hopefully she gets that Waterson fight.
Yeah, definitely. Then another strawweight fight was the Jessica Andrade versus Angela Hill, which clearly, Andrade won the fight by, unanimous decision. But Angela Hill
won too.
But she even though she lost, Angela Hill won.
She won. Yeah, she won.
Cause
I usually look when it comes to Angela overkill.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm all for my sisters and all that. That's cool. You're a fighter, but I'm big on humility, and I think she talks too much sometimes because she got a lot of L's on her record.
Right.
And that's not to take away. From. I mean, there's no shame in having L's in MMA, man. But I think when you criticize other people and you got L's on your record, you need to reevaluate. Look in the mirror, because you can't talk about this person over here, because whatever this person is doing, it's working for them. So I've always looked at her like she got a big mouth. And then when she went to Invicta and won the title, I was like, okay, cool, that's cool for her. I hadn't really seen her, since she was in UFC. I think I watched her last Invicta fight. If there's ever a fight where a person won losing, it was her. And yeah. I'm real happy to see that her skill, you could tell her skill set improved. Her foot movement was great. I see her vacating that Invicta title. I mean, unless she decides to go down and defend it. But, the UFC is going to sign her. They're going to give her a deal. I mean, there's no way in the world you can't give her a deal after a fight like that, man. So kudos to her.
Yeah.
And hopefully she let her skill set keep doing the talking instead of running her mouth, man. I mean, it's cool, but you can never clown somebody when you're taking L's back to back to back. She got a couple losses. I'm like, damn, you talk a lot. No diss, but it's just what I see,
But yeah, this was
I'm funny when you talk about Brock Lesnar, man, and other people, man. It's like, wow, you don't, how do you know? Mad? Why you mad?
Yeah, but this seems like an Angela Hill that went down in Invicta, kind of, again, like kind of,
humble.
Did a little bit of a reset, and then she came.
She reevaluated herself, and that's what was super dope about this.
Yeah, and in this fight, she looked very impressive. She took a lot of punches from Jessica Andrade, and stayed in it. Like it was such an exciting fight, So that was definitely a win, even in the loss,
You can't deny it either. That's the beauty of it. You can't deny what she did. She won. Even in losing, she won that fight. And so good for her. They got fight of the night, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And
yeah, that's dope.
And see, between those two strawweight fights, that makes that sort of that division, even more exciting to me. And so hopefully, see what happens from there. Another fight I wanted to talk about was the Valentina Shevchenko versus Juliana Pena fight.
I was so happy.
Dog, this is Shevchenko. She's somebody who's known as a kickboxer, and
made her ass tap.
No one expected her to have this grappling game and submit to an armbar.
Let me tell you something, Kelly. I used to be the biggest Juliana Pena fan, and then, you know, I'm looking at her. Is she Mexican, Puerto Rican? What is she?
Something.
What she call herself? What's her nickname?
Oh,
she's Venezuela. That's what she is.
Yeah.
The Vixen. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she a I mean, again, I ain't trying to get political, but yeah, I am. She a Donald Trump supporter, so I started looking at her a little different, and to me, she reminded me a lot of Tiny Hill. Always. I mean, I get that. Yeah, you've been kicking ass and shit, but you know, when you get the dog and Ronda Rousey, now I said some shit about Ronda Rousey, but you know, I think the shit that I've said, everybody said, man. But you know, like the stuff she was saying, it was almost like she was talking shit just to build her name.
Yeah.
And I didn't respect that shit. I didn't respect that from a new female fighter coming in like that. And I felt like her last couple fights, she was overly cocky, even though she won. You know, her attitude was everything. So for this fight, and I've always picked Juliana to win her fight.
Yeah.
For this fight, I picked her opponent to win because I wanted to, you know, you never want to, you know, like, I'm pretty sure she might be a good person, man, but sometimes you have to be humble and like to appreciate certain things, man. That's what champions are all about, man. Everybody's experienced that. Muhammad Ali, Jack Dempsey, you know, Rocky Marciano. Everybody, all the greats have been humbled in such a way to where it made them better fighters. And I just think she was getting too big for her bridges. So I didn't expect a tap. I thought she was going to get outstruck, you know, but good for her opponent, man. Her opponent, you know, she tapped that ass, you know, convincingly tapped that ass. It wasn't even a thought that didn't happen, you know. So, you know, maybe Juliana do some reevaluating and look in the mirror and know, you know, she said whatever she wanted. And I never thought that I'd be taking off for Ronda Rousey. But she said what she wanted about Ronda Rousey, but Ronda Rousey got hers. She ain't got to do shit the rest of her life. If she want to be at the crib, you know, eating Cheetos and ice cream, she can do that. She earned that right, girl. You still got to fight. You ain't there yet. So hopefully that this L might, you know, make her look in the mirror and say, you know what, I am a little spoiled. I am, you know, because these motherfuckers, they need that, man. It's like, wow, man, you know, Trump supporters, boy. Woo.
And what's exciting now is that, you know, it looks like the next fight in bantamweight would probably be Nunes versus Shevchenko.
That's gonna be crazy.
And Nunes has a unanimous decision win over Shevchenko from a year ago at UFC 196. But that's been a year ago, and you know, things change. You know, so I think, you know, that's going to be a good fight.
I want her. I mean, no diss. You know, I love my American Top Team people, but I really hope she don't get ahead of herself, because I think she be the Ronda Rousey that was already beat. That wasn't the Ronda Rousey that was dominating other women.
Right.
That was the Ronda Rousey that was defeated by Holly Holm. So I really hope that she gets humble. You know, you don't, like, I never want nobody, you know, down there to rock with them, man, that, you know, because, you know, that's, all them guys are great, man, but I just really hope, you know, she calms down a little bit and understand, man, you beat Ronda Rousey, you beat the name, but you didn't beat the fighter that was beating motherfuckers like nothing. You beat a broken fighter. Ronda was broken in that fight. You know what I'm saying? She was broke. I've looked at that fight a million times, man, and you can see after the first significant strike, she was everywhere. And it's like, wow, how can you not be prepared for that, man? But I hope she don't quit, man. I hope she decides to leave Edmond and go to a different camp. And maybe take another fight, man. Maybe not take a top fight, but, hit the reset button. There's no shame in taking an L in MMA, man. You regroup, you move on. She's still great at what she does, man. She just needs some new tricks. And if she gets some new tricks, man, she can take over the world and change her attitude, too. I hope, that's what I really hope, man, that her attitude will switch up a little bit, man. But Nunes, her next fight going to be a tough fight for her because word on the block is she gasses quick.
Right.
After the first round, that's her scouting report. After her first round, she gets to the second round, man. Now, she proved that, well, now I'm not gonna say that because she didn't go to the second round. So she, that's the scouting report. She gassed it. So and you can't tell when you knock people out, man, the first round, what's gonna happen because you don't go to the second round. So, I'm glad she came out and apologized to it. Man, I can't believe that I'm picking up Ronda Rousey right now. I thought I'd be saying this, man.
Right.
But I'm glad, I'm just, certain shit has to happen, man. We all got to grow, man. I just hope that, old girl, she learned. You got to learn from this bullshit. You can't. Ain't no shame in taking an L, man. You get back on that horse, man, you get riding. You keep riding. Most motherfuckers, man, can't do what you do anyway.
Right.
So, but, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to them fights, man. But I think Nunes, it's going to be, her next fight going to be real tough, so I hope she's training for it.
Yep. There's a couple other fights I want to talk about from the UFC on Fox card. First off, it was the heavyweight fight, Francis Ngannou versus Andrei Arlovsky. Did you see that?
Man, you talking about homicide number 2? I call Chuck Congo that. Every time I see Chuck Congo, I be like, homicide! He just like, I do not look, what's my man's name? I do not look like Inju. I was like, dog. That's what he said to me. We laughed. He said, I do not look like. I was like, man, you homicide. Dude. You gonna always be homicide.
Hey,
so every time I seen, we laugh, man. Only time I ain't never rooted for him was when he fought Mo, because that's home team. But
I guess
man, he's cool dude.
Yeah, but I guess Chet Congo kind of passed the torch to Ngannou after this last fight.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
dude is. You know who he reminds me of, and I don't. When I make this comparison, people are really not going to understand, but the people that watch both sports, they'll get what I'm understanding. He reminds me of Ansu from the Detroit Lions, meaning his ceiling is so fucking high that if he get with the right team, I don't know who he trains with now, but I know that Anthony Johnson don't get props to nobody, man. Anthony Johnson said that's the hardest he's ever been hit by anybody. Coming from that dude, and that says a lot. So I would like to see him, man, go to a team that's going to bring his skill set out, man. And like I said, I don't know what team he's on now, man, but I'm pretty sure it's not one of the top flight schools, or top flight gyms, I mean, it could be. I could be wrong because I don't want to disrespect nobody's coach or whatnot. But,
it says on the line that he's Team MMA Factory.
Say again?
It says online he's on Team MMA Factory.
Never heard of it. He might be their gym. He's done all that work really just with raw. His talent is raw. Like, we haven't seen him getting taken down. We haven't seen him. He's been in no adversity, and it's because his power takes over the fucking fight.
I mean, did you see the punch that he took Arlovsky down?
He lifted Arlovsky off the ground.
It was. It wasn't even like, it was kind of like just a wayward punch that hit him.
Dude, talking about the uppercut, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it lifted Arlovsky off the ground. I'm gonna say it one more time. It lifted Arlovsky off the ground. I've never in my life seen nothing like that. Was raw talent, man. You know who I hope they don't put him against? You know, you might know. You know who I'm gonna say, man, because you know who I'm a fan of in the heavyweights in the UFC.
Wait, who would that be?
I hope they don't put him against Alex Overeem.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think I wouldn't see that yet. You know, I think
look, they talking about putting him against Derek Lewis. I've seen Derek Lewis lose to I think Sean Jordan. With a heel kick and with strikes being put out. I think that will be one of those fights, man, where we will see Homicide number 2 smash my dude, man. And you know, he lost to Sean Jordan, man, but I just see like dude got so much unlimited potential. Where, you know, literally the sky is the limit, and dude's gonna win. He's gonna fucking win, man. And if you don't believe it, you better tune in, because that dude is the future. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another fight from that same night was the Masvidal versus Cowboy Cerrone match. You know, Cowboy was just looking kind of flat that night. I know maybe he takes on too much over the year, you know. But Masvidal looked very impressive though.
If Masvidal fight like that, the rest of his UFC career, he will be a champion. You know, I slept on him, man. I remember when he was in Strikeforce, man, and he had a couple L's, and I seen him go through a string or whatever, man. But he's a real fighter. He's a dog. I don't want to prejudge the fight, but maybe. Did that show that Cerrone shouldn't be fighting at welterweight? Maybe he should go back down to lightweight?
Possibly.
Because dude was hitting him, and, you know, you could see that it was affecting Cowboy. Cowboy don't, like, you could tell when motherfuckers getting through the Cowboy, man, because, like, you know, usually if he gets hit, he resets his feet, and he reanalyzes what he's gonna do. But when the dude is hitting him and he's feeling it, it's almost like he resets, but he don't want to feel that again, so he'll back up. And Masvidal had him like that the whole fight up until, you know, him getting caught. So you could tell that them early shots was affecting him just by the language that he usually presents when he's in the octagon, because generally he's dead square in the middle and he's the aggressor. You know, when he's being affected, you know, he's not necessarily running, but when he gets hit, he resets. He don't want to get hit again. And you can see Masvidal capitalizing each time, man. He was seeing the same shit. So, yeah, man, it's not the typical Donald Cerrone that, you know, we're accustomed to seeing, but it's a fight game, man. This is what happens, man. You know, you earn your keep when you're in that cage.
And what about the ending of the first round for that fight? It looked like Masvidal was, you know, pretty much had Cerrone out right as time was running out, and the ref. He didn't even know if it looks like he was timing it to sort of step in when it hit 0, but he kind of went in a little early.
Who was that, Big John, or was that my man Herb D?
I think that was Dean.
Yeah, I tell. Whenever I see him, I'll be like, we call you Herb in the hood, right? And he laughs. He laughs at him. We call you Herb, and he laughs and shit. He's a good referee, man. I say that's a judgmental call. I don't want to call him out like that, man. But I can see where people can say, hey, what's going on there? But I don't think that. I think Herb, made a judgmental call, and with the respect that Don, Cerrone, who he is, he made a judgment call, and he let him fight the second round, but he didn't get him out of the first, but he got him out of the second. So, it is what it is.
Definitely. Coming up this weekend is UFC 208, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, headlined by the inaugural featherweight women's title between Holly Holm and Durandamy. I know we talked about
bullshit. I'm just bullshitting. I'm bullshitting.
It's kind of a weird thing because this was like we talked before. This was a division that pretty much Chris Cyborg alone by herself was always sort of asking for. There really wasn't any other women voicing up for it.
Look, Kelly, check it out. I don't know if Chris Cyborg be liking your shit, but she be liking my shit a lot.
Mine too. Yeah.
See, and that's a connection for us, bro. That is a connection. So you know what? I want to say this on this podcast right here.
All right.
Chris, we love you. We love you, Chris.
Yeah, we love you, Chris.
We love you, Chris. And it would be an honor for us to, just chop it up with you because we know that you're the best 145-pounder out there, and these are things that we've been saying for years, and the people, we know that they don't understand. We feel you, Chris. We love you, Chris. We love you, Chris. Come holler at us at Fresh is the Word, podcast. You need to. Come holler at us, man, because we believe in you.
Definitely.
We believe.
And
got your back.
But this whole division is so funny because she's been asking for it for such a long time.
Take the 4 off ever. The 4 off ever. Been asking for it ever.
Forever. And once they finally started offering her fights, she was like, I need more time to recover from this massive weight cut, and she just wanted maybe another month. Sense. And then they couldn't do that, so they do this fight with Holly Holm Durandamy. Still, it's pretty much crickets from everybody. Cyborg gets the USADA bing. All of a sudden, all these women fighters start voicing up about wanting to be a part of this division. And then things get quiet again once Dana White says that Cyborg gets a shot at this title whenever she comes back. So this division is so weird to me right now because what is the plans for this? Are they going to sign more fighters from other places for this division? What's going to happen with this division?
I'll say this. They created this division for my love. They created the 145-pound division for Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
She is who she is. It's no different than John Jones getting a title shot when he comes off suspension. So
yeah,
I don't really see what the argument is. What people, what they don't get. It's about time that Dana's paid her respect and give her her just due. She's a bona fide superstar.
Yeah, that's star power.
And he knows that now with the numbers that she generates. So I can say that I agree with Dana on this, man. This is groundbreaking. I agree with Dana. Taking up for Ronda Rousey
and Dana White on the same episode. Oh my goodness,
this is crazy. Like, what happened? What happened to that boy? Woo!
But when it comes to this fight between Holm and Durandamy, do you think Holm got this?
I would like to say yeah. The chick she's fighting, she looks tough, man. She looks like she fight dudes in real life.
No, she did actually.
See, and this is me. This is me not even knowing.
No, I saw a post today about a fight that she knocked out a dude in a real fight.
See, I didn't even know that. I literally was like, she looked like she fight dudes, and you just telling me that. Wow, that's crazy. Holly needs to go in there with a game plan like she did with Ronda. And if she don't, it could be a long night. I hope she wins. If Holly wins, she'd be the very first two weight class division women's champion. So that would be very historical.
Yeah.
But the chick that she's fighting, just from what I've seen, she looks super tough, man. Even though she got more L's than Holly, and they both coming off L's, that's a pick'em fight. Normally I would be like, I go with Holly Holm. I pick Holly Holm to beat Ronda Rousey when they fought. But Holly didn't look like – Holly made a bad decision against Miesha Tate. And I was like, wow, why did you do that? And that was what made her lose the fight. She just hasn't looked like the same person. So she's a footwork type fighter, and she's a rhythm type fighter. So if she get her footwork and her rhythm going, it can be a long night for her opponent. But, what's the baby girl name? What's her last name?
Durandamy.
And Durandamy, if she throw them shots like I seen the videos of her against Holly,
yeah.
I don't know if Holly can come back from that. There's some different type blows for a female to throw. She bang like a dude. So it's almost like Charles Bennett, like Charles Felony Bennett, man. It's like he coming in to bang no matter what. And it depends on, what AJ Newell shows up. Or KJ Newell, excuse me. If it's the KJ Newell that underestimates this dude, you're going to get knocked out. But if the KJ Newell that know how this dude is fighting, then you're going to dominate the fight. So I just really hope that Holly's coaches, got enough footage of old girl because she banged like a dude. Mm-hmm.
Word. All right, moving on over to some Bellator news. It was announced today that the London card on May 19th is going to be Rory McDonald versus Paul Daly. Paul Daly had that crazy KO win against Brendan Ward at the
Brendan Ward, yeah,
at that I went to in LA last month. Mm-hmm. And when that happened, it was like a collective gasp. And then
right. That's how they fight me, dude.
and it was crazy because Daly had that spin-in elbow that rocked Brennan Ward.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just comes up with that flying knee and just...
That was the setup.
Oh, my goodness. He just lays him out, man.
That set that knee up perfectly.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy, man. And then he was just laid out, man. It was just... And then we see pictures later on of Brennan Ward's eye, and it was just like, holy shit, man. That was that was nuts, man. But
it still didn't outdo MVPs, though.
Right. But later on, during the press conference, Daly did call out Rory McDonald, and looks like that's what they're going to be doing on May 19th in London. How do you feel like that fight's going to go?
Depends on when Rory McDonald show up.
How long has it been since Rory McDonald fought?
Going on a year, probably, if not over a year.
Let's see here. His last fight was a loss to Stephen Thompson, June 18th of 2016. So
when was it?
June 18th of 2016, and that was the only fight that he fought in 2016, and he only fought once in 2015.
Yeah, they probably gave him signing bonus money, man. So he been living fat for a minute. Now it's time for him. Everything is done. It's time for you to put that life on the line. Come on over here, Rory. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fucks with Rory, man. I like Red, man. What do you call something? Red what?
The Red King.
The Red King. That's some old Game of Thrones shit. I fucks with Rory McDonald, man. He's my favorite fighter. One of my favorite fighters, man. If you just want to go on past opponents, these two against each other, Paul Daly has a puncher's chance. If Rory's face holds up, which it should, because he hasn't fought in a minute, I think he might have a dominating fight against Paul Daly. Because once Rory figures him out, Paul Daly not going to be able to do anything. And he may, if this is, well, it's probably a 3-round fight. I would take Rory in 2 rounds.
Yeah, and MVP came out saying that he wasn't necessarily happy that this fight was going next.
Wow, because he was calling out Paul Daly.
Yeah, but
wow, he get the winner.
I'm not sure if that will happen, but I mean, wasn't MVP's last performance, even though he won, pretty underwhelming? Remember that fight against Gonzalez?
Styles make fights, so you can look like a G1 fight, and because this fighter fights a certain way, so you trying to pull off some shit, it'll make you look like, it's not exciting, even though you dominated the fight.
Yeah.
So casual fans will look at it a certain way. All fighters have fights where, it may look lackluster to the person that's in the audience, man, but Styles make fights. And that's pretty much what it is, man. So, I don't take nothing away from that, man. He still won the fight.
Word.
You're not gonna look the same every fight. It's impossible.
Definitely. Also, there's rumors that former UFC announcer Mike Goldberg has been talking with Bellator. What do you think about that?
Good for him. He has a right to make a living. Man, consider the fact that you're hearing that they didn't even contact him, man. That's bad.
Yeah, the way they let him go was just like letting go any other employee, and he was the voice of the UFC for so long.
Yep.
and you just let him go like he's the janitor or something, like that.
Like he was nothing. Like he was nothing to your whole little shit. That's some bullshit, bro.
That would be like if the Tigers, like back in the day, would fire Ernie Harwell and just not say anything.
Oh my God. Yeah, motherfuckers got killed for that.
Yeah, man.
What? Ernie? No, what?
So.
Kill him!
But no, hopefully, I did hear an interview that Mike Goldberg had on the MMA Hour, probably about last month, where he was kind of talking about things for the first time. And, he said he had a few things that he could do, He could go back to, he could go back to Vegas, and I think they're doing hockey in Vegas soon. So
yeah,
he could do that, or he said he had a bunch of different options. But it'd be cool if he got picked up by Bellator. It would be a cool thing to hear.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Him and Jimmy Smith would be real cool. Yeah, I fuck with Jimmy Smith, man. He cool.
Definitely.
I think that will make a good partner for him.
Yeah, that would be dope. I would love to hear that. All right, moving on to some pro wrestling news. Since we last talked, it was we had the Royal Rumble that happened, and this weekend is the SmackDown Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. There's a lot of things going on right now that's it's almost
I ain't
like
pulling that shit.
It's almost like SmackDown is catching a case of the Raw, because there's things that are happening that aren't making sense now.
Yeah, like how AJ Styles is not champion.
Yeah, it's getting to this point right now where it's the road to WrestleMania is being paved by putting the belt on older guys who've been with the company, or just older guys right now. We're at a point right now
I think they trying to make up the Goldberg. They're trying to make up to him, man, because it didn't go right the first time. So this is a makeup. He ain't gonna hold on to that belt for a long time.
Yeah, it's just a lot of things that are just kind of like, all right, what's going? But there is a setup. Okay, there's either this where this is really weird to me. Randy Orton wins the Royal Rumble, and the next week he goes against John Cena on SmackDown. Which does this lead us to believe that Cena's not going to have the belt come WrestleMania, or are we going to see a ton of Orton versus John Cena matches like it's 2009 and 2010 again?
I'm hearing that Bray Wyatt is going to win that pay-per-view, and him and Randy Orton probably going to go to WrestleMania.
See, and that was one of the things that I was thinking about. I was like, this sets up perfectly for Bray Wyatt to actually have the belt. I'm not sure, and it wouldn't make sense for it to be Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, and I would be happy to see Bray Wyatt with the belt.
Me too.
I would, and actually everything sets up for that to happen.
The fans will cheer the fuck out of that.
Man, if this weekend at Elimination Chamber Bray Wyatt wins, I'll be so happy. And
you hear a whole bunch of "you deserve it" chants on Raw.
Oh.
I mean, on SmackDown.
Yeah, on SmackDown. Oh, definitely. Definitely. So that's
goddamn husky hairs.
That's the one thing about this all, that even though in all the sort of the weirdness and confusion that's going on with how everything's being booked, I'm like, this could make sense. This would actually make sense. But we'll see.
And it would make up for a lot of shit.
But we'll see if WWE actually pulls the trigger on that, and
I'm scared.
It makes it happen, because we're seeing out of the Royal Rumble, we're seeing all these little storylines starting to happen that we're like, are we into? We see this little flash of like Roman Reigns and the Undertaker now coming from. We'll see what goes about with that. Everything with. We're at this point right now where it looks like there could be a possibility that it could be Goldberg and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal Belt. That's where it could end up.
With the belt going back to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, and it's like it's been cool that Kevin Owens has had the belt, but it hasn't been a really magnificent title run, you know. That belt hasn't had any sort of significance yet.
I would like Chris Jericho to have the belt.
Oh, yeah, I wish, you know, that would. I mean, they joked about it on Raw that the main event on WrestleMania, the best main event would be Kevin Owens versus Jericho, but I think that would be awesome.
He just made the list. Damn it.
Goldberg put himself on the list.
That was corny, too.
That was so corny.
It was corny. I'm like, man, no.
I'm like, no. I know what he's about to do. Stop it. Oh, no. My God.
You know what's a beautiful thing is, as a wrestling fan, when we hear Roman Reigns music, I would love a camera to be in everybody's house just to see the expression.
Dude, when he came out as number 30 at Royal Rumble, man, that was like...
It was the worst.
It was the worst. Oh, my God. Because all of a sudden, it got into the 20s, and we're like, okay, here's where all, like, the Undertakers and the Brock Lesnars and all those guys are coming in. All right. Then number 30 hit, and honestly, I was like, wait a minute, who's left? And I'm like, I hear his music, and I'm like, oh, shit. And then it ends up being...
We all felt the same way.
And then it ends up being Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns left. I'm like, no. I know.
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton...
I didn't see the angle with Randy, though. So they caught me off guard with that.
Yeah, they caught me off guard with Randy Orton winning it, and I was like, well, at least it wasn't Roman Reigns winning that, because I just like, oh no, him again winning it? No. No. But I did like Chris Jericho in the Royal Rumble, because half the time he stayed outside.
Right. That's what you do.
And then the next night he called himself. Then the next night he called himself the 61-minute man.
That's the GOAT. He is the GOAT.
No, he just gets
Jericho
better and
better. That's what he got on his trunks. GOAT. Greatest of all time.
Oh, and then you put Brady on the list.
Brady got put on the list.
You put Brady on the list.
That's right.
For calling himself the GOAT, man. It's like,
you know what happens when you call your name, when you call yourself the name of somebody else? Do you know what happens? Tom Brady? The beautiful part about it is the fans go crazy when that shit goes. That shit is beautiful, dude. Shit is beautiful. Yep.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful moment though. I was like, oh my God, he's about to put Tom Brady on the list. Jericho,
that shit was great.
You are the greatest. Bow down.
Yeah.
Bow down.
Jericho, look. Jericho is one that can back it up in the ring and back it up on the mic. That's why he's one of the best, man. People gonna look back on his career and be like, Chris Jericho's a bad motherfucker.
Right. And
I've been watching the NWA, WCW.
Yeah.
You know, when he was on the come up, and he still pretty much pulls off a lot of the same fucking moves that he did when he first started.
Right, man. He's always done lion
salt.
salt. He's always done lion salt.
Yeah, that never changes, man. So, yeah, we gonna miss him when he gone, man. Because I think he about to leave in a minute and do some more Grafazi.
Right, and it's crazy. I can almost remember the time when WCW finally put a mic in his hand and let him go.
Oh, man.
Like, he started with that whole, I'm the Ayatollah of rock and rolla thing.
Rock and roller. You love me. I'm the Ayatollah of rock and roller. Yeah,
because I remember for a while that like Chris Jericho was just like, he was just like a good cruiserweight, you know, put on good matches, but he never talked, you know, there wasn't any personality. He was just the Lionheart, you know, he was just like the scrappy young guy that, you know, likes to, you know, win, you know. But then they put a mic in his hand, and you're like, whoa!
That was a bad idea. Yep.
This guy is incredible, man.
I remember when they put a mic in Brian Pillman's hand for the first time.
Bro.
Brian Pillman was crazy.
Man, yeah. I still think Brian Pillman could have been one of the greatest ever, man. Like,
Flying Brian was that dude, man.
Man,
he was dope.
He would have been one of the greatest ever.
Hollywood Blinds, baby. Hollywood Blind. Yep.
All right, to kind of wrap things up, one more thing from the wrestling world. The Rock and Roll Express are going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, man.
What do you think about that?
Oh, my fucking God, man. Look.
I know.
I get the whole, yeah, the Rock and Roll. I'm going to give you a couple tag teams that should have been before the Rock and Roll Express. This is what makes tag teams great. When you have individual personalities and you can compete on your own.
Yeah.
And win on your own. The problem I have with the Rock and Roll Express is they never succeeded without each other. And I prove my point to this day because they're still on the independent circuit performing as the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
You can't take away from their accomplishments because when they were NWA World Champions, they were NWA World Champions, man. They beat teams like the Fantastics, the Midnight Express, never the Road Warriors. They beat them. I was an NWA guy growing up, man. So you can't front on what they've done tag team wise.
Yeah.
I wish Demolition would have been nominated and put into. That needs to happen. Demolition needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know what needs to happen for that to happen though, man. Because it looks like Vince wants to do everything to bury those guys from the history of the company.
That's whack. That's whack though.
Yeah.
That's whack. Were they Road Warrior imitators? Yep. Everybody was Road Warrior imitators. But the one thing Demolition did was, even though we knew what they were all about, they made their own identity. After a while, people weren't like, these are Road Warrior ripoffs. People were like, I wonder who will win between Demolition and the Road Warriors. Demolition was able to break that, you copying off this dude. Even though they were they made the WWE Tag Team Championships their own. And I wasn't a Demolition fan growing up, but as I look back on things, they're one of the greatest tag teams, man. If you really think about their accomplishments, man, them dudes, they I think to this day they got more tag team championships than anybody. Demolition, man, they I mean, for what it's worth, they were great. Tell me how many times the Powers of Pain won the world title. I'll wait.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right.
So, I wish they would get in. They should, man. They deserve it. I think jobbers in the WWE need their shit in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, like every year they kind of everybody that's on the sort of the lineup for the Hall of Fame are a different aspect of the history of the WWF, WWE. It's like, you have the headliner, but then you have like the woman, then you have like the tag team. They should have like a that jobber position.
They should have a jobber, dude. They should have. I might hit Triple H up, man. Y'all thought about doing a jobber award, man?
Because somebody like the Brooklyn Brawler is a historical figure in the landscape of WWF.
Look, I can name a couple jobbers. Iron Mike Sharp,
yes.
SD Special Delivery Jones.
Yes.
The Brooklyn Brawler. Quick Draw Rick McGraw. Barry Horowitz.
Yeah, all these guys played a specific role in the company.
And their job was to make the up and comer guys look good. And that's what their main job was. So there's no shame in being a jobber.
And those guys did it so awesome that they were popular from doing it.
Iron Mike Sharp can come out right now and still get a bigger pop than most main roster guys.
I used to love the Brooklyn Brawler, man. Who didn't love the Brooklyn Brawler?
Exactly. I remember when the Brooklyn Brawler got so popular that his manager was Bobby the Brain Heenan.
A jobber got a manager.
Look, I remember when Cactus Jack was a jobber.
Yeah.
Look, that's the beauty of Mick Foley. I remember when he used to lose every fucking week. And then fans started respecting his style. When he was like a jobber in the beginning of his career. But then as fans got used to his work, he went to I think it was the UWF. Mid-South had just switched to the UWF. And Cactus Jack came to the UWF, and that's really where he started winning fucking matches and becoming who we know him as now. But in the beginning, that motherfucker would lose every week, every day. He for real, that he was a jobber, man. I remember like yesterday. So to see him where that dude, that's why we love Mick Foley, man. Motherfuckers know, man, that dude used to be a jobber, and that dude won people over, and his extra shit is what made him a world champion, because he wasn't a world champion in the NWA or UWF or any other independent scene, organizations that he was in, but he became world champion there in the WWF, WWE, man. So, yeah, I watch for Mick Foley, man. I've always called him Cactus Jack, always. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I've always been more of a Cactus Jack guy, like with him, because that was the first thing I ever saw with him was Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack, bang bang,
bang bang. All right,
Cactus Jack, baby.
All right, to close out this podcast for this week, I'd be remiss if we don't talk about it, being that we're a couple of Detroit hip-hop guys. This is pretty much the J Dilla week. This is the week of his birthday. He was born February 7th of 1974. And this is also the week that he passed away 11 years ago on February 10th of 2006. Easily one of the greatest to ever do it in hip-hop. He was very, very unique in his production style. He's the blueprint of so much that is still relevant in hip-hop and soul music to this day. My history with sort of spreading the word on his music is,
you were the first.
It gets forgotten these days,
You were the first.
But
hey, y'all, Kelly was the first.
I was like the first to like.
I'm gonna say it again. Kelly was the first.
I was the first to like, hey, there's this thing called the internet, and there's these people that don't know everything about everything at this, and they think they do. I'm gonna curate this whole guy's music discography, and teach everybody what he actually did, and didn't do, and tell you about all the stuff that you had no clue that he produced.
Used to be www. Was it Ren?
It was
so.
Yeah, well, it first started as like some weird thing like localhiphop.com/Jay Dee, because it was called Renaissance Soul, and then it went to renaissance-soul.com. But I realized nobody knows how to spell Renaissance, and everybody forgets the dash. So I cut it down to rensoul.com.
For the dummies.
Yeah, so I had rensoul.com, which centered around his discography. And that was a fun time, I met a lot of like-minded people around the world. That was a different internet back then.
That was the best.
That was when the internet was cool, man.
When we didn't utilize it the way that it should have got utilized.
Yeah, it was like I met like-minded people around the world, just because we liked a few of the same things, we end up liking other things that were similar, It isn't like that today, The old internet, it was so much cooler, and I had a lot of fun being able just to like chop it up with different people from around the globe about this man's music and things that sort of branched out from it, and it was good times, a lot of things changed once he passed away, which I don't even want to get into.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But the time when he was alive, it was great because he was somebody that like you didn't necessarily have to know him or care. You didn't really have to know him to really appreciate the music. He didn't have to put on all the bells and whistles of being a personality or anything. You could just be a fan of his music, and that was it. Now that was the best part about it.
Was super dope. I'm super lucky to have grown up. Literally, I can remember me, beads, and shoes. I remember my first time going to New York. It was me, beads, and shoes, and we was going out there to see my boy Zoe. Zoe lived in a brownstone. Well, he lived in an apartment like in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And we literally, man, all the way from Detroit to New York, we listened to nothing but Born Unknown and this tape that Bead said, like, V, I got some treats for you. We would call Dilla tapes treats.
Yeah.
And would listen to these shits back and forth and back, like all the way from Detroit, and just was fucking mesmerized. I remember hearing I Don't Know, and this is the God honest truth. I remember hearing I Don't Know in 95, 96, playing that shit on tape, like as we're, driving 12 hours to NY, man. I'm talking about we will rewind. This is before Jazzy Jeff put his scratches on it. I can remember after hearing it on tape, Beads and Shoes had it, hearing it on tape, and I can remember going to Brooklyn, going to Beach Street, and going vinyl shopping. And I can remember being in Beach Street, seeing a 12-inch Slum Village, vinyl with it saying produced by Jay Dee, white label, with all of the shit that we later know come up, as that first, not the one, I think it was Volume 2? The Volume 2 got released by my cousin R.J. Rice.
Yeah.
At Barack and Good Vibe, I believe.
Yeah.
But I heard them songs years before it got released to the world, and I used to run into Dilla all the time at titty bars. Like, a lot of dudes think that he was this backpack dude. He wasn't like that. He just was a super dope dude. He was kind of like, he was to himself, but if he knew you, he fucked with you. But, if you turn your head too quick, he was gone. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's because he would go home and he would be in his lab on Nevada. You know what I'm saying? I remember them days, man. I'm talking about, I just remember a time, man, where, we will always be like, man, if, Dilla, if he make it, man, it's going to be, whatever. And then when he made it, you know what I'm saying? When we first heard that Running record, when we first heard that Stakes is High, when we first heard, like, all that shit that he was doing, man, the Buster remixes on the first album, the shit he was doing, it was like we heard that shit before that shit happened.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. We got an opportunity to witness and be around greatness. And today people still appreciate it. And that's why we celebrate. I think for us who really, who's really into this, we do this daily anyway. I don't think it's a day where I don't listen to no Dilla, man. But February, that first week, second week, all of the month of February for us is Dilla month, and this is celebrate. Like, you have different shows, man. People want to, do tributes, man. Like when I rock, I've been doing, Dilla shows every year, the last couple of years here. And I do it, because, his mom, likes me to be involved. And, I'm blessed, but a lot of times people try to make it about themselves. When you're doing shit for Dilla, especially being from here and where we come from, I'm blessed to have seen that, man. I'm blessed to have seen it, blessed to have been around it. I could tell when people really didn't know who he was because they never mentioned the titty bars. Like, Dilla was the titty bar dude.
Right.
That's real shit. People,
right.
People think he was just, this smoking. I mean, not smoking, but lighting incense. Nah, that wasn't who he
kumbaya
was,
shit.
Dilla,
Man. Like, nah.
Dilla was a street dude who was
Detroit
on
cat,
another
man.
type vibe.
Yeah.
And I ain't talking no thug like, but he was more of a street dude that just had his own vibe, man. And we lucky, man. I knew of your website before I knew who you was, bro, because of Dilla.
Yeah, that was a fun time. During while I was doing all that, because I just got to meet a lot of people that, because it was cool. Because like during that time of the internet, you could like sort of meet that sort of niche group of people that liked something, and that was what happened with what I was doing. I got to meet all these people like from hip hop that were huge fans of Dilla while he was still alive. And it was crazy, all these people that like I would run into and they knew who I was already, and it was crazy. I was like, oh shit, I'm meeting Ninth Wonder, and I'm like, he already knows who I am, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Hey, look, you know what's super dope? When I hear these industry dudes tell their Dilla stories, there's no doubt in my mind that we heard it first.
Right.
No doubt in my mind. You got new dudes that be, oh, I'm Dilla, da da da. Okay, yeah, that might be.
Yeah, I heard about this time with like when Q-Tip and this, and I'm like, dog, we already we heard it a week after it happened.
Look, all the shit that Q-Tip heard, I know me and you heard first. We was there. Shoes introduced me to Dilla one day. That's how I met Dilla, man. That's how I became, like I would get all my shit through Shoes, and I try not to get caught up in all that other shit, man, because, I'm loyal to who I'm loyal to, but at the same time, I don't get involved in that crazy shit. Because at the end of the day, nobody know except Dilla Mama, and Shoes. So, those are the people that have to, sit down and, fix whatever issues there are, man. But I do it strictly for Dilla. I do it because it makes me feel like a kid again. It's one of the moments that make you, when you really just love this, and there wasn't no politics involved. That's what it's all about, man. So for me to even be rocking with you all these years later, after knowing that you're one of the guys who made it, who's responsible for me even becoming aware of a lot of Dilla's music, was a beautiful thing, man. So
yeah, it is crazy,
man.
And like, I'm glad you say that, but sometimes with me, it's just like, sometimes I feel a little like, I don't know, weirded out that some people still see me as that person from back then, and don't realize that I do other things, and whatnot. Even in the music thing, like, I just feel like sometimes people only want to talk to me when it comes to some Dilla stuff or whatever. And sometimes I can get a little old, but I understand where it comes from. I understand that those certain people, that was probably the only thing that I had in common with, But it was still a fun time, It just sometimes I wish people would recognize that I'm much more than just this Dilla guy, the Dilla dude,
And
whatever.
you are. You fucking are, Kelly. Because we rock with each other, dude. And just keep it 100. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. If I didn't fuck with you, I wouldn't fuck with you, man. But you're a great guy. And
I know.
It's rare. It's rare when you hit it off with a person and you got a lot in common with a person. And it just make everything else that much easier. So, yeah, I'm thankful to know Kelly. I'm also thankful that, I met, or came across Renzo that could school me on much more than what I knew about. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time where if didn't nobody know nothing about Dilla, you knew.
Yeah, and it was a good time. I really enjoyed myself. I got to meet a lot of cool people. It was sort of my foot in the door in the music scene, to kind of feel like I was a part of it all, you know, which it was a good time, you know. So I went through, you know, I met a lot of cool people, met a lot of people that I realized were full of shit, like we always do in this music thing. A lot of good, you know, a lot of interesting things that I learned, you know. I don't regret any of it. It was definitely much more fun when Jay Dee was still alive, you know.
Indeed.
There was, you know, there was always something to look forward to, you know, in our music scene when he was still around, you know. That's something that I really, really miss, you know. And we always think about what if he's still alive, you know, what sort of music we'd hear from him these past 11 years and on, you know. So it's we definitely miss the music of James Yancey, you know. You know, everything that he's done will always live on, you know. There's still a strong presence ever, but, you know, there's always that what if, you know, what would we hear from this guy if he was still alive, you know? So that's always the question mark of life, you know.
Yeah, the funny thing is his shit all these years later still sound better than most dudes shit that's out right now.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
Dilla was. I mean, you can't. He was just a different dude, man. I like to be like, damn. Now you see that nigga, now you don't. And when you don't see him, you know he in that basement, man. He doing his thing, man. So I mean, I've all, you know, when he was alive. You know, I run into him and we'd chop it up, be like, man, I want to do something with you. Oh, man, we'll get together. He always said, we'll get together, man, da, 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 da. And that was back when I was just, you know, I was older, but I still was, you know, sharpening my skills as an MC, man, because, you know, we revered this dude. This dude, you knew he was great. You just knew it.
Yeah.
And then when you would, you know, you see the Q-Tip stories and all the rest, you know, you Questlove and all the rest of these dudes, it's like, man, we was there way before you motherfuckers even knew about this dude, man. That's why I can sit and smile when I see people on the big screen or cable or MTV or whatever you at, and there's some fucking star that's talking about Dilla, yeah, and he was this, and most of the motherfuckers don't even say he was a titty bar dude. Do you never hear? No, for real.
Right. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that.
Look. City Pete, 8 Mile, chicken wings, shake bar dances, Dilla. You know, the dopest dude you hear make beats love to be in the titty bar, man. I'll be like, wow, I see him, I see Hex. Like, I mean, that shit, you can't front on none of that shit, man. And when I never hear these people talk about titty bars, I'll be like, man, you ain't know that nigga, man. Get the fuck out of here.
It's like Snoop Dogg and weed, you know?
You said what?
It's like Snoop Dogg and weed.
Exactly. And it's exactly... It was a marriage. Dilla will make beats, go to the titty bar, go back home and make beats.
Right.
He's a transparent dude, man. And, you know, I'll never sit up in front and be like I knew all the intricacies of Jay. But, you know, I have a lot of moments around that guy. And I'm blessed that I have music. You know, yeah, I didn't get a chance to record with him when he was alive, but his mom made sure that, you know, I was able to record over some of his joints. And, you know, we did it the legal way. So, you know, I'm blessed. You know, I've scratched shit off my bucket list because I got records with the late, great, you know, James Yancey. And happy birthday, my G. I know it was the other day. We're about to be celebrating something in a couple hours. I think we're going to celebrate donuts, most of us. And, you know, I'll be celebrating you this weekend, man. you're in the metropolitan area, come to Bird's Warehouse. We got to perform. We got some performances. Me, Guilty Simpson, Fat Cat. Excuse me. I don't want to say me first. Guilty Simpson, Fat Cat, DJ Butter, DJ Dez, Nisha Nashay, Stretch Money, my man that's on Mass Appeal, Bodie James, and myself. And you know, my last one out, 31 Brothers, man. My boys Lo and Zoe, and my dude Beach, man. Beach, like, people need to hear Beach's story. Beach is one of the dopest producers one of the dopest artists. I don't want to say dopest producer. He's one of the dopest artists that most people don't know. If you know anything about Dilla's joint on BBE, Welcome to Detroit, it's a joint on there called Beach and them. And that was dedicated to my guy, Beach. You know, Beach Gordy Brooks, man. And, you know, he was on Master Ace last album. If you got Master Ace last album, he just put out, Beach at the joint with him. Pretty dope. But it's a lot of layers to Dilla, man. A lot of layers. But motherfucker don't mention Titty Bar, they don't know what the fuck they talk about.
Definitely. All right. Definitely happy birthday to James Yancey. You'll always be remembered and always be missed. That's about it for this week's Fresh is the Word podcast. Vstylez, tell them where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at Vstylez, Vstylez. You can find me on Instagram at Vstylez. You can find me on Facebook, my regular Facebook page at Vstylez, and my artist page, my verified artist page on Facebook, Official Vstylez, official common spelling, right after that, Vstylez, and that's where I'm at. Get at me.
Cool, man. We'll definitely be back next week. I'm probably not going to get sick anymore, hopefully not to the point where I can't talk. So hopefully you'll hear us next week. All right, bye.
Peace out.
Fresh is the word.